Patrick, I have a question for you. I have to know your thoughts, okay? Now, this is the question of the century. You ready for it?
Let's hear it.
Okay.
What do you got?
Patrick, tell me, who is your favorite source for finding suppliers?
Global sourcing.
Global sourcing.
Global sourcing.
Never used them before. Tell me about it.
Never used global sourcing?
No.
So global sourcing takes a bit of a different technique. Normally you go on Alibaba and you look for products that they advertise there and use their search engine to find products.
And to find suppliers of those products.
To find suppliers.
Yeah.
Global sourcing, you can actually put together an RFP, which is a request for proposal.
Got it.
And have suppliers reach out to you. So you're running it like a big corporation would normally.
Interesting. So you're putting in like, here, I want this many of this, and here's all the details and the specs. Then if they're interested, they respond. Okay, what does that process look like after that?
So essentially, what I like to tell people to do is to make a brand new email address. I'm not going to call it a fake email, but a new email address just for this.
Yeah.
And you will get requests even 6 months after you initially put it in. But what happens is you put the request in, and it goes on their website. People see it, and they send you pricing. They send you their catalog. They send you all kinds of information about their company. Now all of a sudden you have 30 or 40 suppliers in your inbox within 3 or 4 days.
What I like about it is you take that initial step once, then you have people interested in you after that.
Yep.
So I've never tried it before, so this is interesting.
Kind of backwards from what everyone else is doing now. Everyone's just using Alibaba and reaching out individually, supplier by supplier.
Right.
This puts you in control.
Right. Now, you know my favorite sourcing location or sourcing company?
Which one's that?
Do you know what it is? It's 1688.com. You heard of it?
Damn, when did you learn Chinese?
I knew I was working on Chinese, but I still need to work on it and get better.
It's all in Chinese though.
I know, and even on a Google Chrome browser, they'll say, well, just hit the translate button, and you hit translate, and it does like half a job translating, so when it says MOQ, it says monthly instead. Like, some words just do not work. So here's how it works. Instead of going there by yourself and trying to figure it out, or using the Google Translate option, which doesn't work effectively, you have a sourcing agent do it for you. So we have a full-time sourcing agent on salary that works for us. We have her go in, we tell her exactly what we want. Here's the price range, here's the quantity, here's the differentiation, the specs that we want, and we have them send us samples. Well, the first run is just a random sample to test their workmanship. Those are shipped to us, we test them. If we like it, then we narrow it down to which company, which factory can do it. What I love about it is the prices are significantly lower than they are in Alibaba. I haven't used global sourcing yet, so I don't know like the price comparison.
Yeah. How much cheaper are they on compared to Alibaba? What's your percentage?
Yeah, probably like a 15 to 20% range.
Wow.
And here's what I've noticed. Some of them are on Alibaba are also on 1688. So if you find them on both, I'm not interested, because I realize my competitors could go to Alibaba and source the exact same product I'm sourcing, unless my differentiation is really drastic, or my mold that I'm having them create has the logo embossed on it, and I know the limit of how many times it can be used, and so that allows me to protect myself better. But as a general rule of thumb, we're using 1688 right now, and I absolutely love it.
That's huge. 15 to 20% margin is huge, because that can change if you actually pursue a product or not.
Yeah.
Because especially when you first launch, you might be operating under 15 to 20% margin in the beginning.
Exactly.
That enables you not to lose, at the least, the very least, not to lose money in the beginning.
You're totally right.
That's great.
Yeah, and here's what I love about 1688. A lot of the suppliers don't respond to you fast if they know that you are, English speaking, because they don't want to go through the hassle of trying to translate through WeChat or figure it out. In other words, they're not set up to serve Americans or people in Europe. They're set up to serve their own people in their own country, their own nation. Therefore, if we have a Chinese sourcing agent as a go-between, massive advantage, because now we get lower prices, but they respect her because she speaks Chinese, and it's a price that is really a Chinese sourcing price, not sourcing for another country where they know we have more money, or at least the cost of the dollar is higher, so they're naturally going to charge more because they know they can. They don't know that. My only concern is if a lot of them start showing up on Alibaba.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's
huge.
Definitely a problem.
So Patrick, if you were, let's say you decided, okay, global sourcing is out the window, I'm not going to use them anymore, what would your next choice of option be?
Walmart. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? We have found so many products doing arbitrage from Walmart that are not private label. It's not even funny. So there's actually truth behind that joke.
There's a lot of value in Walmart.
Yeah.
No, not Walmart. So what I would do is I would probably go in the Alibaba route, because that's the most common place to go. Because you can still find good suppliers.
Absolutely, you can.
It's just to get in contact a lot of times, and then if you're able to change your product enough, and they respect you and understand that you're there for big business, it's okay. I just personally like the factor of global sourcing over Alibaba because I'm in control. They're all reaching out to me.
Right.
And being that we launched so many different products in a month,
it saves you tons of time.
It wouldn't be possible.
But are the prices reasonable, like compared to Alibaba?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this is really good to know. This is awesome information. I want to just take a moment to think about Alibaba. A lot of people are scared of it because there are so many suppliers on there making something, and then they'll make the same thing for all these other competitors. But what I agree with you, I like it. If you filter it down, you can actually go to the company about page and it tells you if they're a trading company or a factory or both. And I know some of them lie, but you literally can take the Chinese words for it, translate it into Chinese, drop it into a website. And I can link it below. It's a website that tells you what the company formation is, and it will tell you whether or not it's actually a trading company or a factory. It'll also show you, if you pull up their business license, how much they invested at the beginning to start that. In fact, what I love is if you pull up their business license, they have to have on there this statement that tells you what they do. So if you see a lot of words, you have to translate obviously from Chinese to English, but if you see a lot of words that say trade, then you know it's probably a trading company. But if you see a lot of words that say production, factory, those kinds of things is indication, a strong indication that it's actually a factory.
I have another one. I don't know if I want to tell you or not, but this is a good tip.
Well, you can just like say it quietly. I don't think they'll hear.
You guys won't hear it.
Okay, you guys just put your fingers in your ears for a minute. Okay, go.
So before all this stuff was available,
yeah,
right? So we've both been doing this for a while.
Yes.
Before all this was available, there's a little different tactic I used to use. That's still fine, but as a triple check, what you could do is when they send you the first invoice, they have their ship from location directly on.
Yeah.
So what you do is you put that into Google and you Google the location, and it'll show you if there's multiple businesses operating out of that location.
Oh, interesting. Off of that address.
And it'll pop up, and then you'll see all the different companies. And if there's more than one company, I mean, suite number, everything.
Right, like, oh, it's an office building. Yeah. There's no room for a big machinery.
Right.
What are they doing?
If it's an office building, that's a hint, but that could just be their business office. True. But a building could be a lot like a WeWork, where it's a shared space.
Right.
So what you want to look for is the exact address.
Okay.
So let's say it's 150 Park Avenue, Unit 7. And you look it up, and there's 7 different corporations that are coming out of that exact address.
And it's still Unit 7.
Unit 7.
Oh my goodness.
Now they're a trading company.
Yeah.
Very simple way to find it.
Because there's a bunch of offices and they're just on the phone calling all the factories. Here's another fun one. Check this out. So you order a sample. If it takes them more than a week to ship it off, there's a strong indication they are a trading company because they're going to a factory to get it. But if they're a true supplier, they should have a bunch of, what do you call them, doodads or gimmicks left over from their last production. Oh, we got this one, send it to them, no problem. It should be immediate.
Yeah, and it'll have somebody else's logo on it or something like that, but at least they can get it to you right away. 100% correct, yeah.
Okay, so we talked about Alibaba, we talked about 1688, we talked about global sourcing. What about DHgate? Have you used them yet?
So I think DHgate is good if you're just trying to figure out maybe a general idea of something that you might want to do. Maybe a product that you've never sourced within that category.
Right.
Maybe something really specific. But it's just to get into contact with someone. I would never make it a business to constantly purchase off DHgate. I'll give you a quick example of this. How they're not set up for business. So last year I bought about $30,000 worth of samples on DHgate, right? So directly through DHgate just for buying samples. So I was doing taxes, right? This is a real world example. We're doing taxes.
I know where this is going, but keep going.
And I can't get it because I'm laughing, I'm looking at it, and there's 17 pages, and I would have to screenshot all 17 pages and then put that somehow in an Excel form. Can't do that. So I reached out to them, and I got hooked up with their tech support, and they said, no, we can't do that.
Can't do what?
I'm like, can you go ahead and can we do like an IT ticket or something where you could...
You mean you were just looking for an invoice?
I needed a file. I needed a file. Like, can you put all this can I like download all this?
You mean for your taxes to report it as a business expense?
So I had 17 pages of products. Right. So it was 30K worth of samples. So imagine how many products this is.
That's a lot.
So I asked them, is there a way to like export this? They said no. So I had to take screenshots and put it in a Word document for my taxes. That's what they're just not set up for business.
I like what you said, that it's really good for starting there. That's actually our first product was on DHgate.
Get an idea.
And we didn't do any differentiation at all. It was very simple. Shipping was free. It was fast as well. It was simple and easy to use. I find it easier to use than Alibaba. The problem is, it's really hard to find a factory with as low prices as you do in Alibaba. It's like you're paying extra for really fast service, but if you're trying to scale and save profit margins, it's not good.
And it's lower quantities too. So
Yes.
you can get in the game for
Way
100
lower
units.
MOQs. You're totally right.
Alibaba, you're at 1,000 plus, maybe 500, depending
Right.
on what it is. So you can definitely get in cheaper, but it's a starting point.
Yeah.
You can't constantly do that because, as you said, it's easy, right?
Yep.
It's easy for everyone. So you can get knocked right off your throne within like a day.
Yeah,
Someone
absolutely.
else can get in the game. I can do that to anyone.
Right.
Right. So we know I do a lot of volume. So okay, I see someone doing a straight DHgate product. If I wanted to be a mean person, I'm not. I would never do that. I would just buy, say I can figure out they're doing 100 units a day, I'll buy 10,000 units and dump them in my stock.
Right. And boom, you crush it.
That's simple. So that people need to think about that, how easily they could get knocked off that throne that they're trying to build up.
Right.
DHgate's not good.
Super risky. You have to differentiate. You have to have profit margins. Absolutely.
Good place for samples.
Yeah. We've talked about 4. There's one more I want to talk about, and that is Cole Imports, located in the good old US of A, Los Angeles, California. I actually went there last March at Ecom 2019. They showed up at our event. I got to talk to them, work with them a little bit. One of our coaches uses them a lot for both arbitrage and private label products. So here's my understanding so far of how they work, and any other tips you have for everyone, please share them. So they source from China for you, and they will do the packaging. They will even send it into your own Amazon, the Amazon Fulfillment Center with your FNSQ label. They don't log into your account for you, but you give them that data, and they will do all the printing, the packaging, and all that, which I think is awesome. And you can get really good MOQs as well, and sometimes they'll buy a complete closeout from another place and then just sell it off really quick at a ridiculous price. For example, let's just say they bought a closeout from another company that's doing this phone case, and it is the last of that company's product, and there's 500. So I get a ridiculously good price. I have to buy all 500 of them. I log into Amazon, I list under the listing already there is arbitrage, and I am the only seller. Almost guaranteed I'm gonna get all the dollars, all the credit for those sales. So I think that's brilliant. But the cost for MOQ is definitely a little higher, and you can't customize. So what do you think? What are your thoughts with Cole Imports, and what has worked for you?
So I was actually a little upset at you when I saw Cole Imports there, because that was one of my secrets for years.
And I shared it with all the warriors.
Used them for years and years. And they make a good product.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to figure out what you want, because there's some stuff on there that you can't really sell on Amazon anyway.
Yes.
But that's your. You need to understand what
you have to know your market.
Yeah, what you're gated in and what you're not gated in, and whatever companies will allow you to list it, and then you'll get in trouble. But besides that, if you use them like arbitrage, fantastic. If you want samples, great place to start. And then having the option of them potentially importing them. I don't do that because I have my own channels.
Right.
But say you're new and you have the potential of them rebranding the products for you.
Yeah. And you don't want to go through the hassle of finding a supplier and
how
how they
they do it.
legitimate. Do I have to deal with customs and all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And right now, actually I have 2 products, just 2 right now, in FBA from them. What I do is, if I see something that they have some couple products are actually Amazon's choice.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. So what I'll do is I'll go in and clear out their stock. So I won't just buy 100 because I don't want competition.
Yeah.
So I'll go in and go heavy and clear everything out they have. I'll ask them, I need an honest answer of what closeout means.
Yeah.
I'll clear it all out. I'll have it shipped to me, not to Amazon. I'll sit on it for about 2 weeks. Let everyone else go through their stock, and then I come back to market with it. And that's been really successful.
I want to know what you think. We have given you the pros and cons of 5 of the most popular places to find suppliers. A real quick recap. If you're looking at global sourcing, great opportunity to submit a request for proposal. The prices are good and comparable to Alibaba, and they respond to you, which means you spend less time and they're already vetted. You already know they're more interested. That's number 1. Number 2, 1688. Your prices are actually lower than Alibaba or global sourcing. However, you have the challenge of the language barrier. So getting a sourcing agent could be really key here. Option number 3, Alibaba. Alibaba is probably the most famous, they're very well known. You can find suppliers, you can find competitive prices, but you might have to go through a lot of junk to find the right ones, and some of them do sell on Amazon. Option number 4, DHgate. Great place to start, get samples, low MOQs, shipping can be free, but a little more expensive, and it's hard to get a supplier to customize for you through that platform. Option number 5, Cole Imports, the one and only that is in the US that we talked about today. Great again for testing products. You don't have to deal with customs and all that, and shipping internationally. They will even do the packaging for you and send it into Amazon's fulfillment center for you. But the disadvantage is customization is not an option. Well, it can be, but it's gonna be a longer process, and the cost is definitely higher. So I wanna know what you think. Please comment below and tell me, of these 5 suppliers, which one wins the test for being the best.